Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Moody, and you are tuning into Third Grade Thursdays. I have already gone to Google and I have typed in star release test questions. I discovered that the 2019 star release test questions are now available. So instead of going to 2018 today, we are going to do a question from the 2019 star test. Today's question problem is going to be fraction related. I've noticed that a lot of people come to me about fractions and decimals. Those are the things that their kids always confuse, and those are the things that they say I just was never good at. So today's problem is going to be about fractions. It says fraction strips are shown. Which comparison and explanation are true? So the first one says 5/6 is less than 5/8 because eighths are larger than sixths. B, 5/6 are less than 5/8 because sixths are larger than eighths. C, 5/6 is greater than 5/8 because eighths are larger than sixths. Or D, 5/6 is greater than 5/8 because sixths are larger than eighths. So I'm sure the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cross multiply because that's what you've learned and that's the easiest way for you. Well, guess what? That's not what the state wants our kids to know, and these are just third graders. So instead of cross multiplying, in third grade, we use models to represent the fractions and to help us compare fractions. You can use fraction circles, you can use fraction bars, you can use number lines, or you can use what is in the picture, which is fraction strips. But what we will not use is butterfly. We will not cross multiply. Teachers who are listening, we're in third grade. We will not cross multiply. Say, I promise I will not cross multiply, Miss Moody. Okay. So let me show you how we would solve this problem. Just to explain this bar, this first bar at the top, it just represents one whole, okay? Now, so this whole bar, that represents a whole. Like if I had a pizza and it wasn't cut at all, this will represent that whole pizza. Maybe I should use something that could be shared long. Well, let's say a candy bar. All right, so if this was a candy bar, this is the whole candy bar. This is the size of that whole candy bar, okay? Now that second row that's the same size candy bar, but it's if I broke it up into 6 equal pieces. The last row is that same size candy bar, but if I broke it up into 8 equal pieces, okay? So the first one is a whole, the second one are sixths, and the third one, they're called eighths. And I know you hear all that because I want to make sure you know that that's sixth with the THS and eighths with the THS at the end. Okay. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first fill in my model because I can see that every problem has 5/6 and 5/8. So I can just go ahead and take care of that now. And then when it's time to solve the problem, all I need to do is just refer back to what I have. So I'm going to change the color. And so I'm going to do, since the first one is 6, that means I'm going to shade 5 to represent 5/6. You know, and it don't have to be all that pretty. That's why I tell my kids we're not coloring. It's not a contest as long as I can see how long it is. All right. And then the next one is 5/8. So I'm going to shade in 5/8 and use a different color. Okay. Now I can see the length of each bar and I can compare, okay? So looking at A, 5/6 is less than 5/8. Well, if I look at this picture and I'm looking at my second row, that is 5/6, but it is not shorter than the 5/8. It's actually longer. So I know that that is already incorrect, even though I haven't even read the rationale. Now, just to explain, as I mentioned earlier, thinking of a candy bar. Okay, am I going to want to share with 6 people or am I going to want to share with 8 people? I'm going to want to share with the least amount of people so I can get the bigger piece. So always let your students know, or your child know, that when the denominator is bigger, the piece is going to be smaller, because that's the more people you have to share with. Okay? So I actually know that eighths are smaller than sixths. So looking at A, it says 5/6 is less than 5/8 because eighths are larger than sixths. That whole thing is wrong. 5/6 is not less, because we can see it on the bar, the model. And then we also know that eighths are not larger than sixths. Actually, if I have 8 pieces of something that is the same size as something else that has 6 equal pieces, those 6 pieces are going to be bigger. The sixths are going to be bigger than those eighths. Okay, so I can cross that out. I guess I'm doing it in purple today. All right, now let's look at B. 5/6 is less than 5/8. Again, we already established that 5/6 is greater. So I already know that's wrong, but let me read the rationale. Because sixths are larger than eighths. Hey, guess what? That part is true. Sixths are larger than eighths. But didn't we say 5/6 is smaller? So this answer kind of contradicts itself. Make sure that your kid is reading every single question and every single answer choice and reading it in its entirety, because what happens is they put questions and answers like this to try to trick them and get them to pick the wrong answer. So your child could understand that sixths are bigger than eighths, but still miss this question because they didn't look at the first part that has the symbols. Okay, so make sure that they understand what the symbols mean, and they understand that the whole answer choice has to be true. Let's look at C. 5/6 is greater than 5/8. Yes, we know that. We can see that bar is longer for 5/6 than 5/8 because eighths are larger than sixths. No ma'am, no sir. This part right here is not true. All right, and then the last one, our last hope. 5/6 is greater than 5/8. Yes, because sixths are larger than eighths. Yes. All right. Stay tuned tomorrow for 4th and 5th grade Fridays. Thank you for tuning in to 3rd grade Thursdays, and I will see y'all next time.